You ever get that weird feeling, like a disconnect, that the person you are out in the world, the calm, responsible adult, is really just a shell? And that deep down, the kid you used to be is still in there, kind of looking out through your eyes? Well, let's get into that. Let's talk about this journey back to our real, true selves. I mean, it's a heck of a question, isn't it? The idea is that all the years, they don't really change who we are at our core. They just add layers. You know, layers of protection. Time teaches us how to hold ourselves just right, how to talk carefully, how to be cautious. But it can't just delete the memory of what it felt like to be totally innocent and spontaneous and just free. And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. You've got the child on one side. That's our essence, right? Full of wonder, totally real. And then on the other side, you've got the shell. That's the adult we've built. It's a protective layer, for sure, built from all our experiences. But let's be honest, sometimes it feels like a mask we forgot how to take off. So, how does this even happen? How do we get so separated? There's this beautiful way to think about it called the tree of life. It's a metaphor that really helps you see how we can grow further and further away from our own center. Okay, so picture it like this. We all start as roots, right? Connected to our simple, authentic beginnings, our source. Then, as we grow, we become the trunk, and then we start branching out, collecting degrees and job titles and all this information. And every new branch, well, it makes us more specialized, sure, but it also makes us more separate, a little more distant from that simple, powerful source down in the soil. And here's the kicker. True wisdom, it's not found by growing yet another branch or trying to reach higher than everyone else. Nope, it's found in the journey back down the trunk, returning to the roots. It's all about reconnecting with that core essence we started with. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Which branch are you on right now? And how far away does it feel from the ground? All of this constant growing outward, it has a cost. The argument here is that a lot of our collective anxiety and exhaustion, it really just comes from the massive effort it takes to keep up this performance of adulthood. And wow, this table just lays it all out. The child's natural state is all about curiosity. They live in why. And they learn by actually touching the flame. They fall down when they're learning to walk, but they just get back up. No shame. But the adult, we often live in this unnatural state of pressure, of compression. We learn by being warned, and we're terrified of the judgment that comes with messing up. And that inner feeling of sorrow, man, that one really hits home. Now, this feeling of pressure, this fear of getting it wrong, this is not some new modern problem. And the solution isn't some new age trick. Actually, this whole idea of returning to the child is a deep, profound truth that you can find echoing through ancient wisdom traditions from all over the world. In Christianity, for instance, the message is incredibly direct. And this isn't about being childish, right? It's about getting back to a state of innocence and trust and just being real. The very qualities that define the kingdom of heaven as a way of being, not just some place you go to. And it's not just there. In Hinduism, you see a really similar theme. Krishna's whole journey as this major divine figure. It doesn't end with him being some stern, serious authority. No, it ends in divine, spontaneous play. It's a celebration of that childlike spirit that just lives in the moment, full of joy and totally free from self-consciousness. This whole idea is also at the heart of Taoism. Be like water is a call to be more like a child. Think about it. Water is fluid, it's resilient. It doesn't slam into an obstacle and give up. It just flows around it. It doesn't despair, it finds a new path. That is the essence of a child's approach to the world. It's a state of pure flow. So you see the pattern, right? This is not some isolated idea. Across all these completely different traditions, there's this shared understanding. Each one, in its own unique way, is pointing to the same deep truth. The highest form of wisdom looks a lot like the spirit of a child. It's a universal secret, just hiding there in plain sight. All right, so if we've drifted so far away, how on earth do we get back? Let's take a look at what this journey of return actually is. It's really a path of reclaiming what was ours to begin with. And we have to be super clear on this point, because it's important. The goal is not to become childish, to ditch all our responsibilities or pretend we don't know things. The goal is to become childlike. It's about reclaiming the most powerful parts of that inner kid, their endless curiosity, their amazing resilience, and that ability to just live in a state of flow. You can even see this whole dynamic play out in the story of Eden.
Before the whole apple thing, Adam and Eve were unashamed. They were whole, just like little kids. But with that new knowledge came judgment and comparison and fear. They got self-conscious and they covered themselves up. Sound familiar? It's basically the story of how we all build our shells.
So all of this leads us to the final and maybe the most powerful part of this whole journey. Not just going back, but becoming whole. It's about finally reconciling these two parts of ourselves that feel like they're in a constant battle.
Right, so the key takeaway is that we don't destroy the shell. We don't just throw away all the wisdom and experience we've gained as adults. Instead, we infuse that adult self with the child spirit, wholeness. That's when the mask and the true face become one. It's what allows us to move through the world with both wisdom and wonder.
And that really just leaves us with a question to sit with. What would actually change in your life, like tomorrow, if the adult performer just took a step back? What could you learn or create or experience if you really started listening to that curious, resilient, joyful kid that's still inside you? Because maybe, these two selves aren't really separate at all. Maybe, at the end of the day, when you strip away all the layers we've built up, there is only the child. And that child, that core of pure, authentic being, is everything.